Are you looking at the ground when I turn screen? Are you ready?
No.
I need your look. Thanks. Mm.
15 seconds.
Tell somebody to watch.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey, you heard it. Good morning. Great morning.
Yes.
Happy morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You heard the intro and you know what it is. Welcome to Back to Basics.
Back to Basics.
Eyes of Faith.
Eyes of Faith.
Radio broadcast.
Radio podcast.
There we go. There we go. With Dr. J.E. Sturdivant. We are here. We are rejoicing. We are glad. And we are we're extremely excited to be here. Hey, WBGR family.
What's up?
Facebook, good morning to you all. I see you all. I see you all. And YouTube family, good morning.
What's up, YouTube?
We're excited to be here another week.
Mm-hmm.
We are glad to be alive.
Yep.
Glad to be here. Last week, this time in the DMV, we experienced some snow, some snow showers, so we wasn't actually in the studio. So to be back in the studio another week, we're grateful for that.
Yeah. I missed too, so I'm super
excited
to be back.
You missed a couple.
I feel like I was
Wednesdays.
missing something in my life.
You took a break.
Yeah.
You know, you had to take a
did.
break from
No.
she you know, God has blessed her with a good position with your job, so you pretty much like the manager. You hold it down.
Yeah.
And if you're here, then who's holding it down when you're here?
I call someone to cover for me, and
See.
if they get sick, it's just kind of like I have to.
You
step
gotta
in.
go.
I
See,
have to, yeah.
see. But we thank God for what He's doing in your life,
Yeah.
and for Facebook family. It's good to see you all.
Hey.
I see Eartha Baynard. I
Good
see you,
morning.
Regina Robinson Davis, Michelle Henderson. Good morning to you all, YouTube family. Where are you all? We're missing you. If you're not following Pastor Sturdivant on his personal page, you should do that because that's where you can follow him on YouTube and know what's going on with him. www.jesturdivantministries.com. That's www.jesturdivantministries.com. I see you, Sister Donna. I see you. You all are trying to figure out where Pastor Sturdivant is, and I'm gonna let you know. But look, when I let you know, that doesn't mean just log on. That doesn't mean like, oh, he ain't here.
Yeah,
all right,
no,
I won't. I'll catch you
share.
next time. No, we want you all to watch. We want you to share this. We want you to be a part of it. We already know that Pastor Sturdivant, his ministry, his anointing has him to travel across the world. And you know, at this point, if you don't know, then you don't know him. But you should know at this point that, you know, he goes home. He goes home, and for him, home is Lagos, Nigeria. Home is Lagos, Nigeria, and he goes home a few times out of the year to go and see his father, to get refreshed, because he says, you know, when he comes back here to the United States, you know, sometimes it can be a little toxic. So, you know, he goes home to Lagos to get refreshed. So he's back at home, and he's being refreshed with the convocation and the service, and he gets a chance to spend some time with his dad, the general overseer of Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG. EA Adeboye. It's his birthday week, and he gets the chance to spend some time with him. So he's there, he's happy, but of course he's watching and he's tuning in. So you know, hey Dad, hey,
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. But we here. We are his co-hosts, and what he would say, his cohorts. And to my left of me is the one that you just never know what's going to come from her, any place, anytime. You already know who she is. The Box of Dots, Steph the Best, .net, .org, .com.edu LLC.
LLC.
You know who she is. You
That's
want to go
me.
ahead and greet the people.
Good morning. I'm
Hey.
excited. I really miss being here, Janice. I'm telling you, like, it does something for me each week to come here to receive something and also to know I can give back a little bit because, you know, God instilled something to me too. I got something to say.
Some
So
people
when I
on
don't
the
get a
edge.
chance to say it, it's like it gets built up and I'm like, ah. So now I'm super
So you got
ready.
to say it.
I got a
even
lot
when-
to say today.
Oh,
I
hey,
have a
please
lot
take
to
over.
say today.
Yeah, please.
So I
Take
hope
over.
you guys are ready. Make sure you guys are sharing this. I'm telling you, Facebook, WBGR, YouTube, this is needed. This is basic teaching that is for everybody. And today, because it's coming from just me and Janice, it might be a little too real for you guys. It might be a little less Bible, more millennial, more.
We're gonna balance it out.
Yeah, we're gonna try to have a balance,
balance it
but
out.
make sure you guys have somebody tune in that's, you know, in our age group that we can speak to, that can have something new to hear from people that look like them. So share this.
We're excited. One of the things that Pastor he really interests us.
He does.
He the thing about a shepherd, the thing about a leader is that they can see something in you that you may not readily see within yourself. And for me to be not only just one who is under his teaching as a member, but also one who assists and works with him. But then I'm also his daughter, and you know, that's a lot. I wear a lot of hats apparently, but hey, tilt the hat. One of the things that I always just kind of I'll talk to him and I'll have conversation with him, and I'm like, that he'll share some things that the Lord has placed in his spirit for me to do or to be, and I always would ask him, and I'd be like, "Are you sure?" And I don't see it, but that's the thing about a leader or a coach. Or the one who guides and the one who you receive from. And if you don't have somebody in your life who's able to push you beyond yourself, you may want to kind of check that. Even Steph and I, we work out with Pastor, we exercise with him, and there are certain goals that we'll say that we have, and he'll say, you think that you can reach those goals, and we be like, we're not sure, but we're gonna try. And him being our coach, our trainer, as you would say in the exercise world, he'll push us. He'll have us do things that we didn't see ourselves doing at all. I mean, exercises that is just like, wait, what? You know, you want us to do that for how long? And we're crying and we're sweating and we about to get ready to throw up and you know, we're struggling, but he pushes. And then after we finish the workout, we see the result and we say, you know what? Okay, we appreciate what you did. It didn't feel good. It hurt a little bit. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't know that my body could do that. But you saw that in us and you pushed us to it. And now that we've done it, we see the results of it. And that's one of the things as far as having a shepherd, having a coach, having a mentor, having a teacher, having, you know, somebody, and all those things Pastor, you know, he exudes, is to be able to push you beyond your comfort level. We get so comfortable out here. We get comfortable and complacent and content. All those C's, comfortable, complacent, and content. Oh Lord, that's passive. That's that. I don't be trying, but we get all those things, and we never can fulfill our purpose or our fullest potential because we don't have somebody that can push us past our comfort. So I admonish you. I see you, the priest Reed. Good morning. I see you. If you don't have somebody that you're receiving teaching from, if you don't have a mentor that you can talk to, if you don't have, and your peers are good. Your peers, they're good to listen to and bounce ideas to. But sometimes because your peers are kind of like in the same boat with you, they may not be able to see, good morning, they may not be able to see or be able to provide you as much as, you know, they only can give what they know. You want to be able to have somebody who has a little bit more wisdom, and it's okay to receive from people or talk to people who have that. So I just want to get that because I know that Steph was sharing as far as millennials, and Pastor has deposited some things within us where we're able to give back, and we're going to give it. It may not be from the same way that Pastor talks.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know, because we don't talk like him, and You know, he knows a little bit more than us, but he does entrust us as he has deposited in us. So we do ask you to share this. Share this with your loved ones.
Please.
Share this with your young people. Share this. This is back to basics, and we just giving you some basic teachings with some spiritual principles that's going to help you with overall life lessons. And I am.
And to the right of me, that was good.
I don't even have to
You
have
broke
an
it
introduction.
down. No,
I don't have an
no.
introduction.
She needs an introduction because she
Okay.
went from 3 names to just one.
What was my 3 names again?
You want me to give you another name? Okay, I'll give it to you. She went from 3 names to just one. Josiah!
Hey everybody! I already explained, the roles that I play, but I'm excited to be here. I'm truly grateful. I'm truly grateful. This broadcast has been such a blessing, and it didn't just start with WBGR.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Eyes of Faith has been happening for a few years now.
Mm-hmm.
We were on WYCB 1340 AM with Radio 1, and before that, Pastor was doing Back to Basic Eyes of Faith in his in the comfort and the studios of Faith United Ministries. So it has taken off and is doing some amazing things, so much so that it's some things that's to transpire 2019. We can't tell you all yet. Good morning. I see you, Karen Hudson, on YouTube. If you're on YouTube,
morning.
let us know. We can't tell you all because they haven't given us the okay to announce it. But as soon as they say, hey, all right, you all can put it out there, I promise you we're going to let you know what's going to happen. I see some of you all dropping off of Facebook.
Oh,
Please
no.
share this.
Yeah.
Share this. We're about to get into the teaching. Let them know that we're here. We got something to say. We got something to say. And just because Pastor Sturdivant isn't here doesn't mean that a message is going to be brought forth. Pastor, he showed off this past Sunday.
Yeah.
I
Wow,
mean, he was talking about purpose, and it's one of those things where you have to kind of like just take a seat back and literally kind of consider, why am I still here? Like, why did God keep me from the accident that was supposed to take me out? Why did he cover me even when I had made certain choices where I should be dead? Why am I still here? And he touched on that purpose piece. And he's been in this series. Hey, Kim Thickpin, I see you. He's been in this series as far as purpose over the past few weeks, and it's just been such a blessing. I encourage you all to come out. If you don't have a church home, or if you're in the DMV, some of us have taken a break from church. A lot of us have taken a break. I don't know what's happening in this season. The devil is really, really playing a lot of games, and I'm seeing it. But a lot of people have fallen off from coming to the house of the Lord, and a lot of people may say because of church hurt, or they don't have time for church people, and you may have your reasons, and your reasons, can be just, but at the same time, as a Christian, the Bible says to come to the house of the Lord and fellowship amongst those who are in the same boat. And you can do church in your house, and you can do bed Baptist. What is that? Bedside Baptist. I don't know because I never done it before. Bedside Baptist. You can do that. I don't know the correct term because I never did. I never been in that church before. So you can do that, and you can watch it on social media, and all those things are good. But when you come into the house of the Lord and you fellowship with those who have the same zeal and passion, it does something else. It takes it to another level. I encourage you, if you've taken a break from your church home, 2018, you just was like, what, I just don't feel like it. And you haven't been back to church since 2018. You know who you are. And you know that, God is convicting your spirit to do some things different. I admonish you, it's not too late. I see you, Brittany Barber. Good morning.
Good morning.
Come back to the house of the Lord. Come fellowship, with us. Faith United Ministry, 7905 Fernham Lane, District Heights, Maryland. We are a place where miracles still happen. Yep. And we call ourselves a ministry because we're concerned and we do things as far as, the soul. A lot of people, focus on church with the rules and all those things, but we're more about saving souls, and a lot of things that we have purpose and what we're planning to do this year. We're planning on doing a lot of outreach stuff, a lot of things where we're going out into the world. So I advise you to jump on board, even as far as even this Sunday. If you didn't plan on
this Sunday actually would be a great transition. Let me tell y'all why. Sometimes people might be a little nervous to come back in church because, like, I haven't seen my pastor in a couple of months or a couple of Sundays, and I don't want to feel like his whole word is about me. Y'all, guess who's speaking this Sunday?
I don't know.
I ain't say nothing, but somebody's speaking this Sunday. You should come out and hear it. It's gonna be like that, and it'll give you like a smooth transition back without feeling like you're being beat up. I didn't put that word in for her because my friend, she got a word.
No, I'm grateful. I thank God for the anointing that He has placed upon my life and the ministry He has given me. But there's no shame in what we all do, because none of us are perfect. And one thing about us as Christians is that you should never make anybody feel bad for whatever choices you make. If you're doing that, then that's not of God, because God so loved the world. God shows compassion daily, and if you're one that beats up on people or makes somebody feel shame for not doing, then you should reevaluate your life. But I admonish everybody, come back home, come back to your church. We would love to have you. We'll welcome you with open arms, because that's what Jesus that's what He would do. So we're saying that if you don't already have Pastor Sturdivant books, if you feel like you're going to miss him because you don't see his presence here, fear not. Have no fear.
Fear not.
Because his books are here. Have no fear because his books are here. What?
Oh, you dropping the bars today, huh?
His books are here. And if you want to, if you haven't already got it, we thank those who have supported. If you want to purchase his books, I mean, these books.
Great.
Oh, man.
Great.
I don't even, all I need you to do is just, please, go on his website. You'll hear him talk about the books. You can read about the books. These books are changing lives. They are changing lives. They changed my life. I know Steph is a witness as well.
Absolutely.
And even if you have read the books, can you just comment on it? I see a couple of people. I know Kim Thickpen is reading the book. I've seen, Eartha Baynard. If Karen Hudson, if you all are reading the books, can y'all just leave a comment letting them know? Because they may think that we're exaggerating because we're co-hosts and the cohorts. I need them to see, because we are going to do a thing soon where we're going to have people that have, purchased the books to come on here. We are going to do that. We're setting a date now for that. But I need you all, if you're a testimony of purchasing Pastor Sturdivant books, can you do us a favor? Can you just leave a small comment just letting them know how the book has changed your life? And they will then know that we're not exaggerating. And hopefully they will as well get the books, because these books are life-changing. Please go on his personal website, www.jesturdivantministries.com, and you can get the books. You can purchase the books. Just select the book, and we will ship it out to you, and it can be given to you. Or if you want Pastor Sturdivant to be a part of your next event, next thing that you have going on, workshop, anniversary, anything, conference that you have going on, and you want Pastor Sturdivant to be a part of it, he would love it. When I tell you, he loves people. He loves people. And his purpose is to try to, connect with as many people as he's able to while he's still here on this earth. So if you want to be a part of your next, anything that you have going on, please contact me, Janice Sturdivant. I can be reached at 301-736-2383. 301-736-2383. 301-736-2383. Call me. Hey, what they saying right there? Be a blessing. I promise you. And even if you have the books, bless somebody else. So we've been talking about, you've been a part of it. We've been talking about over the past couple of weeks as it relates to dysfunction. And we've been talking about family dysfunction. And I know it's a thing that we have been hitting because it's something that is so prevalent in this day and time, and it has so many dynamics to it. The foundation comes from it when we have first started is that who you choose outside of your home is as a result of the lack of or what you're not getting in your home. Whether it's the relationships that you choose outside of your home, your friends, your co-workers, those that you choose to have relationship with outside of your home is as a result of, something that took place or did not take place inside of your home. And so we kind of started with that, and then we also, came from the perspective as it relates to how even though there are dysfunctions, because dysfunctions takes place as a result of undealt with things from people in your family, your mom, your father, your sister, undealt with issues that may have stemmed from generations before now, and then the generations before then, and then the generations before then. We kind of allude to it as generational curse, if you were to come from a spiritual perspective. But dysfunction comes as a result of undealt with issues. So we've been breaking it down every week. And even the past couple of weeks, we stated that although there are dysfunctions, you still can function despite of the dysfunction. And we've been talking about it, and I wanted you, because I know you said you had a whole lot to say, and we're about to get into it, but I want you to give, your take of, what we've been talking about, dysfunction, and how that connects with you, and what light has it shined on as it relates to your life and your personal life with receiving this information, and we're going to get into today's teaching.
Just listening and hearing what you just said just now, if you think about it, sometimes it's not necessarily that we don't deal with the dysfunctions, it's how we deal with them that makes it dysfunctional. And it's just, that's what keeps it going. It's because, hypothetically, I might have saw my mother get beat by my father. This is hypothetically. My mother did not get beat by my father. But if she did, and I saw how she dealt with it, and she dealt with it by doing whatever he wanted, so he did not beat her. Me, if I was to get beat, I would probably deal with it the same way.
Exactly.
Not that she didn't deal with it, but she dealt with it the way that she felt was best, and then that would cause me to continue that dysfunctional cycle. So sometimes I don't want us to feel like, oh, I'm dealing with it, so I'm breaking the cycle, or, I'm going to fix the problem. We have to be mindful of how we're dealing with it and what we're doing. Are we just coping? Are we covering it? Are we hiding with it? Like, how are we dealing with the dysfunctions to make them stop at us and not continue the cycle?
That's so important, because even when I've talked with, my parents, and I've talked with, other adults that are in the generation before me, and one of the major things that, that was taught by parents to kids in the generations before us is to not tell all your business, to be private. Everybody don't have to know your business. Everybody don't have to know what's going on. There were a lot of secrets that were kept amongst family, because you don't want your cousin to know that this happened to you. You don't want your sister to know that this took place. And as a result of those things being taught and embedded in the generations before us, it then had them to move a certain way. So then when they had kids, then their children saw how they handled certain things. They didn't talk about it. They kept it a secret. Whatever happened between mom and dad, that happened between mom and dad. So even when the child became, as a teenager, or one who could understand, those standards still took place. Keep it a secret. Don't say nothing about it. Whatever happens, that's between us. You don't have to know that. And so those type of things are kind of like the foundation as it relates to dysfunction. And what you said just a couple of minutes ago, as far as how you deal with things is so important, because how you handle something is going to be a reflection of how somebody else handles something. Whether it's a child, a student, a mentee, how you handle a friend. I'm learning now not to do a whole lot of talking, a whole lot of explaining, because talking can be one thing, but your actions, we all know the saying, your actions speak louder than words. And even if you don't understand my actions, or even if it doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. Because when it's all said and done, a lot of times we can talk ourselves into a lot of the issues and dysfunctions that we deal with. Because you can talk yourself into, and this is going to be our transition because we're going to talk about it. I'm going to pull the Bible out. Yeah, I do have a Bible. It's on my laptop. I don't have it, this day and time. Everything is technology. See, Pastor normally carries his actual Bible. We carry our phones and our laptops. So don't think that we just talking, and we're gonna come from the foundation of it all in a few minutes. But your actions speak louder. You never know who is watching you, and you never. There he is. There they are.
Good morning.
The Greens. They are here. The owner, the proprietor, the husband, and the wife of WBGR. Woo! They just walked in, so we had to give a huge shout out to them. Talentia Bowden, I see you. Good morning, love. You never know who's watching you. That is a crazy thing. I was surprised to hear. Somebody had hit me up on social media, and they don't really do a lot of talking. They don't really do a lot of commenting, but they had shared with me how what I post, it helps them. You never know who is watching you with what you're saying, with what you're writing, with how you're responding, with how you're dealing with things. You never know who's watching you. And when you have issues that's faced before you, be mindful as how you respond to them, how you deal with them, as Steph said, how you handle them. Even if it's something as small as a conversation. I can get a text message on my phone right now, and somebody can just say something that can irritate me and just mess up my entire mood. It has happened. Oh, I can have a conversation with somebody, and I'm telling you, it happens. And I can have a conversation. I can be having a good day, and then talk to somebody and have a conversation. It's just like, Lord, have mercy. Is those type of things that how you handle the situation, even if it's something that small. How you handle the situation makes a difference, because you never know. Even if I'm right here beside my friend and I get a message, she will see how I will respond to it based off of just being right beside me. And then she will then, if she, didn't know any better, but she does know better, will have a situation that come up. And because I respond that way, she would think, oh, it's okay for me to respond that way because my friend do it. So why, I can do it as well. And that's a trickle effect that we end up, planting seeds in other people's lives that's connected to us because of how we move and how we respond. Then the people around us would think it's okay for me to move and respond that way because I see her do it all the time. And it's not about what you say, but it's what you do. And this generation now, we're visual. So you can say a whole lot, but if your actions is not matching up with your words, what you're saying doesn't mean a whole lot, because we're going based off of what we see. You can quote a whole lot of scriptures. You can say, okay, I'm not going to do this. You can say, okay, I'm going to be a better mom. I'm going to be a better dad. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to do all of this. And we make all of these promises verbally. But if our actions haven't changed, and I see you pick up a cigarette when you said you quit 30 years ago, or I see you cussing when you said, you know what, I'm going to stop cussing. If our actions haven't changed, then we're planting those small little seeds and saying that, hey, it's okay for you to make promises and not keep them.
The whole small little seeds thing, that is so powerful, because you will find yourself moving or doing things in a way or a manner that you normally would not have done it. And it's only because you saw it one time or you experienced it, or, somebody close with you dealt with you that way. And it's just like, God, I don't even respond like this. Why am I doing it? So that's great, and that's gonna be a new prayer of mine. Is God, remove these small seeds that I did not plant and that you did not plant, because sometimes I really don't understand why I'm responding the way that I am. But it's the small seeds that I didn't even realize that were planted, and now I'm responding like I saw or like I felt or what I experienced. So let's be very mindful of how we respond. That was good.
It's so important. The Bible says in Song of Solomon 2:15, catch the foxes, the little foxes. And just because it's minor doesn't mean it's not going to have great impact. Just because it's small doesn't mean it's not going to have great impact. I mean, even something as small as an ant. An ant is so tiny, but they have great impact. They have great impact, and we don't pay attention to ants because they're so tiny. We can step on them, we can flick them, we can push them out the way. But don't disqualify the small things. So today, Stephanie, I just want to kind of give something. We want to talk about dysfunction and the foundation of dysfunction with the fall of man. If you all want to look. We had to use a scripture, Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3 would be our scripture basis. On Facebook, can y'all please share this? Or even, do a watch party on this, because we want to try to get this out. I see you, YouTube family. Please share this. But we wanted to kind of talk about Genesis 3 because this is when everything kind of transpired with the dysfunction.
It transitioned a little bit.
Because there was some light before darkness. There was some light before darkness, and as a result of dysfunction, and as a result of changes that was made, the light then turned to darkness. Look, if y'all can turn to Genesis chapter 3, and we're just gonna read just a little bit and kind of break it down to you, because in Genesis 3. Three things happen as a result of the story. Three things take place. There's a distort that takes place. There's denial that takes place. And there's a thing where man defies God. You have distort, you have denial, and you have when man defies God. And we're going to break that down to you. We're going to read a little. Steph, you want to do it or you want me to read it?
Go for it.
You want me to read it a little bit? Sure. I'm gonna read a little bit. I'm gonna just give a background because you have Adam and Eve, right? Adam and Eve, they're given instructions by God, and God tells them, hey, here are all these trees here. All these trees here. You can have access to all these trees. You have access to all these trees. But this one tree, don't eat from it. Everything else is yours. Everything else, you got it. But this one tree, don't touch it. Don't get no fruit from it. Now, Adam, he was in charge. He was in charge of all of the animals and cattle, and he was in charge. He named all the animals. He was in charge of all the animals. So that was his responsibility. Eve was created to be his helpmate, to be the one that helps him. So Eve is there. This is his wife. And so Eve is in a garden. One of the creatures that Adam was in charge of is a serpent. So if you look at Genesis chapter 3, verse 2, it says, and the woman said to the serpent, because the serpent has now entered the garden with the woman. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. That's what the woman tells the serpent. This is what God tells Eve. Don't eat it. Don't touch it. Don't put your hands on it. If you eat it or touch it, you will die. Then the serpent comes back. Verse 4. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die. For God knows that in the day you eat it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now, the serpent is now twisting God's word. He's now twisting God's words. The woman made it very clear. This is what God said. I heard it. It got into me. I received it. I accepted it. The serpent then comes to the woman. Now, the serpent walking to the woman. Can you imagine a snake just walking up to you? The serpent walks up to the woman, telling her, you would not... Did God really say that? Did he say you would really die? Like, did you hear him correctly? So now the serpent is now playing games with the woman. So then in verse 6 it says, so when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate. She also gave it to her husband, and he ate it as well. Now, we go back. We digress because it was specifically told by God to not eat the fruit. That's what it was instructed for them, to not eat the fruit. The serpent comes in the picture and changes what was specifically instructed. He entices the woman and say, hey, you know, God really didn't say that. And so the woman, because she's not strong in her spiritual belief, or she's vulnerable, she then takes on to what the serpent says, and she believes him, and she eats of it. And then she gives it to her husband, and then he eats of it. And then they feel guilty, and they feel like their eyes are open so much that they feel naked. And they run and they try to hide themselves. They try to get some leaves. They try to cover themselves, and they try to hide themselves. And then they hear God walk into the garden. And he calls his son Adam. And Adam says, Lord, I hear you. And he's trying to figure out, where are you? Now, God knows where he is. He asks him, where are you? And he says, you know, I felt that I was naked, so I went and I went to go hide in the garden. And the Lord asks him, who said that you were naked? This is when the dysfunction takes place. The husband then says, the wife that you gave to me.
Why don't you just read the scripture? They might not believe you.
They don't believe
They
you?
might not, because I mean,
But you want...
Nah, go ahead, read it.
Because I had a reason to lie about it.
I know, but they might not know that you don't have a reason to lie.
Oh, my goodness. So, it says, where verse am I? Okay.
Maybe let's start
Verse
at
7.
Mm-hmm.
Then the eyes of both of them were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig trees together and made themselves covering. And they heard the Lord of God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. Mm-hmm. Then the Lord, verse 9, Lord God called to Adam and said to him, where are you? He said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself.
That's what it says.
And then verse 11, it says, and he said, who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat? Then the man said, the woman whom you gave to me, she gave me the tree, and I ate it.
That sounds like dysfunction.
Now let's break this dysfunction down real quick. So,
wow.
Eve is enticed by the serpent to eat
Well,
fruit.
actually, if you think about it, you remember you just said Adam was the one who named the animals.
Yep.
So that he kind of is in control of the serpent.
He is.
He named him a serpent.
Yes.
So why are we listening to something that we name?
Something that we have control over.
Control over.
And we allow that to have control over
That's
us.
where it started.
Say that one more time.
You gotta know your position. Know where you fall in your ranks. If you up here, don't be listening to somebody down here. I'm just saying, I was deep right there. Okay, dysfunction one.
Okay, so the first thing was that Adam lost control.
He lost control.
He lost control of what he had control over. He had control over all the animals and the cattle. So he lost control. He was not confident in his position.
Dang.
All right, so with dysfunction, here's the first thing.
Go.
I see you, LaQuinta, all the way from Texas. Hey, love, good to see you.
Good morning.
You have to know your position. This is what we had said in the beginning, your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, we all are an assignment and we all have a purpose. The animals had a purpose, but Adam had a purpose. And Adam's purpose was to control the animals. But Adam wasn't sure in his purpose and in his position. I see you going, what she say? You better say that. You better say that. When you are comfortable and confident in your position, it doesn't matter what others are saying or doing around you. When you're comfortable, a lot of times we lose control because we're not comfortable and confident in what we are or what we're doing. See, I don't care if somebody walks in here right now and say, hey, X, Y, and Z. If my purpose right now is to talk to you all and give you all some basic principles and teachings, whether somebody walk in here or not and say something, it's not going to distract me from what my purpose or what my position is. We're not comfortable and confident in what we're doing, so we're so easily distracted when somebody comes in. Just like the serpent. Now, if Eve was supposed to, be doing what she was doing as a helpmate, she wouldn't have been so easily enticed by the serpent who walked in and said, did God really say that? Did God really say you cannot eat from the fruit, the tree, the fruit from the tree? And because she was not comfortable and confident in who she was, she listened. We be listening to the wrong people. We listen to the people because they sound good. They talking right. A lot of us have signed up. I know I've lost a lot of money out here in this world because I had signed things because it sounded good, but it wasn't for my good. Hey! We actually have wrote off a lot of things that we're supposed to have had in our future because it sounded good. If you tell me right now, hey, Janice, I got this check for $1 billion. Let's just go. Let's just quit our jobs. Let's just go and just travel the world. That may sound good. I'm like, all right, step back. Let's go. Just give me a day. Let me say goodbye to my family. Let me pack up all my stuff and let's get out of here. I've been wanting to see the world all my life. You know what? Let's do it. It sounds good. It feels good because this is something that I want. But is it really for good? Is this the reason why? I'm still here to just be traveling around the world and having fun and just blowing money? Or should I be investing so that it can be, more money or it can do some good for the kingdom of God? A lot of times, because things sound good, bear witness to Eve, it sounds good, but because we're not comfortable or we're not confident in our purpose and why we're here, we end up staggering. Going on this side, going over here, somebody invite you, you going over here, and you bending over, and you like a pretzel, you being all flexible and going all in these directions because you're not comfortable and confident in your position.
That's what that is.
You got to be comfortable and confident in your position. Once you're comfortable and confident, it eliminates a lot of bad decisions. Dysfunctions. When you think about dysfunction comes as a result of things that kind of went bad.
Out of order.
Yeah, they kind of came out of order. But when you have order, it eliminates dysfunction. So, going into the scripture, because they had to see, I was not making that scripture up.
It wasn't.
I was just giving you the urban.
Sure they knew that
I was giving you the urban millennial perspective of the scripture. But if y'all want to hear the thous and the don'ts and the do's, then I'll read the actual scripture. But okay, so anyway, Adam blames Eve. The wife you gave to me, she gave me this fruit. Now, Adam, first of all, you were created first. You're the man of the house. You're the man of the house. Why couldn't you say no when she gave you the fruit? Why did nobody? She didn't force it in your mouth. It wasn't anything that was like, okay, babe, if you don't eat this,
I'm gonna leave you.
It wasn't anything like that at all.
Right.
Like, she just said, hey, eat the fruit. And you took it and was like, thank you. And you ate it. But yet, when the Lord asks, well, who said that you were naked? Well, God, look, the woman that you gave to me, she gave me the fruit. So that's another thing as it relates to dysfunction. It's because you're not comfortable and confident in your position. But then also because we do a lot of blaming. We blame people. One of the things growing up, I was exposed to a lot of I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. And I still see a lot to this day. And one of the things with relationships, which causes a lot of dysfunctions in relationships, is when you don't take responsibility for your own actions. This day and time, it's hard for us to actually accept responsibility and say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. Hey, I did that. That was my bad. That was a mistake. I know I've lied many times. I know I said I was going to do it. I did it again. You know I missed curfew. We do all these things as far as blaming. Well, if you would have given me a car, then I wouldn't have, had to walk home, which would have had me home on time. But yet you didn't allow me to use your car, so I had to walk home, which was an extra hour of time, which is why I was home late. And we blame people. It could be minor stuff. We blame as to why we don't do. Well, the reason why I didn't come to church is because I didn't have a tithe. And I know that when you come to church, you got to bring your tithes to the, to God. And because I didn't have a tithe, I would have felt bad, for not, giving. So I was like, all right, God, I ain't going to come this Sunday. And then last week, my car broke down. And, I didn't have an account. I didn't have an Uber account or a Lyft account. So I wasn't able to get another ride. So that was, and we found all these excuses. We found all these reasons to blame other people instead of accepting responsibility. Adam could have said, God, I mean, I'm almost interested as to how God would have responded if Adam would have said, you know what? I was wrong.
Yeah, that's deep.
I'm telling you, this world probably would be different because because
What?
the downfall of Adam and Eve. Adam, what was you doing? Why couldn't you say God? I messed up. Now the ground curse. Now women got to go through pain for no reason because of Eve. You know what I mean? All it is just because Adam.
But Eve did the same thing.
Eve did the same
He
thing.
blamed her. She blamed the
serpent. What? Adam Eve. What?
Let's take responsibility for our own actions. Let's start there.
That's the bottom
good
line.
too.
The dysfunction comes first. One, because you're not confident in your purpose, your position. But then two, because you're blaming. You're blaming everybody else. You're blaming your upbringing. Man, I was born in Southeast. My parents said, I was born in Southeast too. So now what's your story? My parents saying, give me all the things I wanted. But my parents, we was poor as well.
I only had one parent. Now what?
We wore the same shoes every day.
Me too.
We found all these excuses. And we blame everybody else. Well, if my father was there, if he would have picked me up when he said he was going to, my mother, if she would have just taken some time and she would have just showed me some things, then I would be. And we blaming everybody else for why we are the way that we are. Man, you're 30 years old. You're 40 years old.
Yeah.
Still saying the same thing.
And it actually is more of a disservice to ourselves when we blame someone else because you're giving them the responsibility to either free you from that blame or to, fix a problem. If I don't take responsibility, why am I going to try to fix it? I'm the one having the issue, so I need to fix it. I need to take it on. I need to figure out how to move, what I can do to make it better, to stop it, to break it. Like, how can I fix it? And if I don't accept or acknowledge that I'm the one that needs to fix it, it will never get fixed. You can't fix my problems because you don't know how it's affecting me.
That's one of those things, even when we say the same, when I forgive, I'm not forgiving for you.
Right.
I'm forgiving for myself. It doesn't do anything for the other person, but it makes you better. And when you blame other people, it's not doing anything for them because they're going on living their best life. You're the one that's still giving them that power and that control. I mentor these girls with the group home, and I mentor them, and they'll tell me why they're angry and why they have this charge against them and why they did what they did, and we'll talk about it. And after they finish talking and expressing, then I'll ask them. I say, okay, so now what? Well, if my mother would have did this, and if she would, okay, and they get it out. Okay, now what? Well, not my father, because he said that he wasn't going to do that, and he lied to me, and he hurt me, and he said, and the tears start falling. Okay, now what? After they finish all of that, they realize that it's not even about everybody else, and it's about you. You made the choice. You knew what was right. You knew what was wrong. You did what you wanted to because that's what you wanted to.
Right.
Period, point blank. And we have this saying, we say it all the time, you can choose your what,
Your choices.
but you can't choose your consequences.
Never.
And it's so easy for us to make choices, but a lot of us can't handle the consequences. Even as it relates to Adam and Eve. I'm sure they didn't think that the consequence would have been as severe as far as God punishing them.
Yeah.
For
And
their
they
wrongs.
probably didn't think that it was going to affect me and you.
Just because I
But it
ate,
did.
I bit an apple?
Uh-huh.
I bit an apple. This is what happened. Let me tell you all, because this is the downfall. Let's go down. Let's go down. Here's God. God now is telling them, as a result of you biting this one apple, this fruit I told you, in verse 16, he says to the woman, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you.
So it wasn't even going to be like that.
It wasn't going to be like this. It wasn't even, God didn't intend for us to experience pain. He didn't intend for us to experience darkness. But because of certain choices, he said that. And to Adam, Lord have mercy. And to Adam, he said, cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil, you shall eat of it. Now, we had brought to light a couple of weeks ago that Adam, he didn't have to work for anything as far as the ground. But now he's saying in toil, that means you got to work for it. You shall eat. Before, it was easy for you to eat. Now in toil, you shall eat. And the days of your life, both thorns and thistles, it shall bring forth to you. And you shall eat the herb of the field. He says that. And then he also says to the serpent, because the serpent is crazy. He says, because you have done this, you are cursed more than all cattle. The serpent is cursed more than any animal, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you shall go. Now, mind you, if on your belly you should go, so that means the serpent was walking. I told you snakes was walking.
Yeah, I mean,
he was walking. He
Eve.
walked up to Eve. I would be a little frightened if I'm just standing there by a tree and a snake just walks up to me and say, hey, did God really say you can eat that fruit? I would be terrified. I wouldn't even want to. But then, because they were in charge of the animals, it was okay. He says, on your belly you shall go, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life, and I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. All of this because of one choice. Because of not being confident in the purpose, and then also blaming others. A lot of dysfunction, when you think of the word dysfunction, it refers to something that is not functioning in the way that it should. If Adam and Eve would have tended to the garden the way that it was instructed, the way that it was asked for them to, we wouldn't have had dysfunction. We wouldn't even know what dysfunction was. It wouldn't even been a word that exists. But because of the disobedience, because of what you said earlier as far as things being out of order, because of blaming, because of making choices and not being responsible for our actions, it caused dysfunction. When you think about the dysfunction in your life, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your relationships, your family, your friends, when you think about it, think about why is that still happening? Why is it still dysfunction there? You know what dysfunction is. Why are you still letting it be something that continues to take place in your life? What's the purpose of it? What is it doing for you to have things out of order in your life? Now, a lot of us are so comfortable because we have been moving like that for so many years. We're comfortable in the dysfunction.
And I think we have mentioned that a couple of times as far as functioning in the dysfunction, and it can get kind of scary because when you function in it for so long, it's no longer dysfunctional, and it's just you lost where you need to fix it, and then it keeps the cycle going.
It keeps it going. That's what we call that generational curse, as we stated. It's a curse that keeps on transpiring generation after generation after generation because one refused not to do anything different. And I promise I am going to be a game changer in this generation. I promise that I'm not going to allow what my parents have dealt with or my grandparents have not dealt with to let it be something that continues to manifest in this generation. And Steph and I, we have taken on the responsibility as millennials to be one to show and to share, what we're receiving as far as these teachings to help you to be able to help your young people. Because the young people now are just doing what is taught from them by you.
Mm-hmm.
And as we stated before, if you aren't doing anything different, then why are you expecting them to do anything different?
Mm-hmm.
Yet we beat our kids and we put them on punishment and we take things away from them and we prevent them from being and doing because we see signs in them that's in us that we never dealt with. So instead of us dealing with us, we take it out on them. But we're doing a disservice to them because we're not allowing them to fulfill their purpose because you're taking away from them. Instead of focusing on what they're not doing, ask yourself, well, have I done that? Ask yourself, am I doing that? That's one of the things when it comes to when you're teaching somebody, whether it's a mentor or teacher, it's a conviction that comes in your spirit because before I can tell you a certain thing, I have to then look at myself and say, wait, am I doing that? Am I practicing what I'm teaching? So many teachers out here now are able to give information, but they're not able to apply it to themselves.
And that's dangerous too because people pick up on that. Like, I can see you preaching to me and I see how you're living. So it's like, all right, well, let me just preach to somebody else and I'm going to live the same way I want to live too because I see it working for you. And it's just kind of like, we have to be so mindful. So many people are watching us and so many people are looking up to us. And the example that we're setting isn't really the example that we think we're setting. Trust me when I tell you, there's a lot of things that I do that I feel that are not in the light, that if they were in the light, I probably wouldn't want somebody to look up to it. And it's just like, well, let me just stop now before it comes in the light.
You better go ahead and stop.
I'm just saying. It's hard. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm in the same boat as you guys. It's really, really hard. And you know, I'm thankful for Pastor, for the teachings. I'm thankful for him instilling something in me and me wanting more for myself. But that was a long time coming. I was just living reckless and living, you know, like wanting to live my best life. That's what I was doing. And there's so much greater than your best life that you feel right now. Like, I know it's so much more.
One of the things that we're going to, because our time is running out, so one of the things we're going to do next week is kind of show you all how to handle some of the dysfunctions. And I'll just give you one of the points today, just because I think it will kind of be helpful. And it's not even nothing that serious. It's not really anything serious. It's just making a choice to do different.
That's all it is.
It's just making a choice to do different. Choose ye this day who you will serve. Choose ye this day what you're going to do. Tomorrow really isn't promised. And a lot of us nowadays, we wait till the beginning of the new year, the calendar to change, for us to do something different. But tomorrow is not promised. It really is not promised. And you say, okay, well, I got a couple of weeks. I can get myself together, you know, in a couple more weeks. Okay, I'll wait till the springtime. And then once spring comes, I'm going to go ahead and get back focused. So I'm going to wait till the end of the month. All right, I got one more day left in February. Let me just get it all out. Because come March, I'm going to be serious. I'm going to be focused.
But it's always going to be a new month.
It's going to always be, we're going to always give ourselves a reason or an excuse to prolong or push what you can change and do today. If you just make a choice to do something different, change is not change, Pastor says, until you change. You want change, you see change, you want it, but you're not doing anything to change. So how do you think you're going to get that change if you're not doing anything? You're still thinking the same. You're still responding the same. You still have the same attitude. You still have the same mindset. If you continue to have those mindsets, then how do you think things are going to change? You think somebody want to talk to you when you still giving off nasty attitudes? You think somebody want to be around you when you always have something negative to say? When it's all said and done, change you, and you'll see how the dysfunction will change in your life.
That's good.
We done.
Hey.
We appreciate you. WBGR, thank you all so much.
You.
Facebook, can y'all do us a favor, please? Can y'all swipe right and share this? Y'all should have been making this a watch party. If you haven't, it's not too late. Even though the party is over, we're going to party again later. What they saying? I can't even read it. Recognize the dysfunction to move forward. There you go, Regina. I see you. Thank you so much. That's good. You got to recognize it. What they say as far as when you go to the AA meetings, the first step to recovery is to you have
accept or acknowledge.
Well, you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge like there's a problem.
Okay.
Acknowledge there is a problem.
First up, acknowledge there's a problem. Thanks.
You gotta acknowledge that Yeah, she's crazy. Acknowledge that there is a problem. Once you acknowledge that there's dysfunction, then you can do something about it. But if you're in denial saying, our family is fine. My life is fine.
Everything
There's
is
no
okay.
dysfunction. Everything is good. What are you talking about? We good. If you keep on being in denial about that, then you're not going to ever feel like there should be something that needs to be changed. And no family is perfect. No family is perfect. That we do know. Even Jesus' family wasn't perfect. We do know this. So the first step is to acknowledge. We appreciate you, YouTube family. Thank you all
Thank you.
so much. Thank you all for listening and staying with us. We appreciate that.
Yes.
Please, again, as we stated earlier, if you have gotten away from your church, if you've gotten away, you kind of backslid, kind of took a little break, just because you was just like, you experienced whatever your own personal life. I encourage you all to come back. Come back to your church home, as I stated before. And if you don't have a church home, and you're in this area, come. Faith United Ministries, 7905 Fernham Lane, District Heights, Maryland. Come this Sunday at 9 o'clock. We'll only be there for a couple of hours, and you'll still be out to enjoy the rest of your day. But I invite you. We are personally inviting you. And share this. Thank you, WBGR. Thank you, Coy the comedian, Mr. Lionel Green. We appreciate you all. Until next time. All right, YouTube and Facebook. 3 o'clock.
One more time.
Thank y'all. Give us some hearts. Leave some comments. Let us know that you appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see you all later.